Welcome to day 10 of 21 days, setting the stage for change. For those that don't know me, my name is Raffaella from Kusala Consulting. Do not start from today's, well, you can watch this one live if you're on it, but I would highly suggest and recommend starting from the beginning, because these are conversations that sort of connect and link one with the other. So this conversation here might make no sense at all, because it is connected to the previous ones. So I know most of the people kind of see it as a recording afterwards, but and every day I show up for 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the topic at hand and how in the flow it is. I tend to discuss these pointers at what you can start to become aware of. And the whole activity isn't really a mind activity. It is a noticing, a recognition. It is a seeing more than you were aware of before. So it's not a thinking process. It's a routine of kind of wanting to see the mind in action. Okay, so it is the contrary of thinking. Thinking is that which always changes, and you are that which never changes, aware of it. So today I was having a conversation this morning, and it came up, we just take it for granted when a person says, I had an aha moment. I had an aha moment. And this is really quite relevant. What exactly do we refer to when we say, I had an aha moment? An aha moment is a moment of recognition. You just recognized that you've never seen something or defined something or noticed something in that particular way. You've now seen more than what you used to see. Before, you only noticed this, and now the aha moment is that moment in the present moment of recognizing, there's more. Okay, so an aha moment is just in a split second where you've noticed there's more light, there's more awareness. And we don't really stop and acknowledge what just happened right there. Something in your belief system and your thought patterns shifted. And one aha moment after one aha moment after one aha moment, and these aha moments only come with intention of asking a question. When you really, 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 really want to know, when you're asking yourself the bigger questions, meaning not based on your normal routine, habitual daily activity, like when you're asking bigger questions, like the questions like, what is the purpose of duality? Who am I? What is the nature of reality? Like, you're really pressing on buttons, but it is the intention of just moving your focus onto something that we don't normally talk about. It's not coffee, sitting around the coffee table kind of conversations. Okay, those kind of conversations where we're out and about within the collective, we all sort of fit into a politically correct sort of behavior. Conversations that are widely accepted, so I can be validated and accepted by the collective. Okay. Whereas I take every opportunity to strike up something, a conversation like that, just to see the reaction of people. I don't do it as often as before, but I do enjoy it. It gets me out of my habitual thinking pattern, is that when I am here, this is how I should be behaving. And when I'm alone, this is how I can behave. This is where I can explore different thought patterns and looking at thoughts and remaining as awareness. And then it's like we've made it a point that I cannot be too transparent here, and I can do this in the intimacy of my own home. I can have asked these questions with my partner. If you're interested in spirituality and you're interested in self-development and you're interested in this and that, then yes, I will allow this. But I'm actually getting to a point that I really don't care where I am. Like whatever resonates in the moment, I will say. And some will be offended, some will think I'm crazy, some will just walk away, some will stay and ask. And you know what? It's scattering of different kind of identities to see what resonates and just being of service. And some of them get an aha moment. Sometimes I get a broader aha moment, like, yeah, that felt good, that resonated. But hang on, 90% of the people got upset with you, but that resonated. Why did they get upset? Did I just trigger a very core belief that the majority believe in? An aha moment is your recognition in the moment, seeing something that before you were completely unaware of. And that is changing your experience, your actual experience. You cannot go back and believe something the way you used to. You've now been presented in a split second, being in the present moment, realizing something. Now you cannot go back and unknow it. You cannot go back and be unaware of it. You've just expanded. You've seen more than you used to see. And if you allow yourself to really get addicted to these aha moments, it felt really addictive. That one aha moment just allowed me to, it really feels like relief. One aha moment after another aha moment. What brings them on? What brings them on? It's your questioning. It's your hunger to know more. It's your hunger to recognize more, to see more. Of what? Of yourself. It goes beyond mind and thought. You're recognizing something deeper than mind and thought. Thoughts and emotions are not you. They are not you. They don't represent you in any shape or form. An aha moment is not a thought. It was you in a split second with no thought, perceiving yourself in a way that you cannot now define it. You cannot even put words to it, but you just know. You just know, and no one can convince you of the contrary. You cannot explain it. You don't even want to explain it. You're just satisfied with how that resonates, how that just clicks into place for you. It makes perfect sense without the mind having to make meaning of it. It makes perfect sense to you. Perfect, 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 perfect knowing. You just know it. And that's what the minority of the people that really get it and are living peaceful, joyful, loving, abundant lives don't take the time to even bother trying to convince the masses. Because the masses, every time something new is presented in, it's always rejected. Why? Because it's jeopardizing their core beliefs. So every time you've had an aha moment, don't even try and convince someone else until they have their aha moment. But what you can do is bring that knowing outside and remain as that frequency. So other people have the opportunity, if they are looking, if they are interested, if they are hungry to know, you're available to channel that knowing. But don't go offering the answer to someone that hasn't asked the question yet. People that argue for their own limitations want to keep their beliefs in place and are literally obligating themselves not to have new experiences. and they will not have new experiences. They will keep creating the same experiences. And that's when you find masses and collective that agree with these limitations, and they create groups and they hold firm and argue for their limitations, saying, this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. And then we hear in the ethers that something they thought is not possible actually happened. And then they argue, oh, it must have been photoshopped. Oh, that's not true. Oh, and then because these things happen, now we don't know how to decipher false from true and true from false. And we're all arguing. When if we would just let go of evidence and just trust what you know for sure within you. And when you know for sure, you're at peace. You're connected, you're aligned with yourself. We don't need to ask for outside validation, what's true and false and what's been proven, not proven. Because even when things are proven and it's not in alignment with your beliefs, still you won't acknowledge, oh, okay. No, something your mind will try and justify that. So you don't have to include that. Even if it's obvious, 100% proof has been shown, there will be refusal to accept it. And you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's not wait for things to be in place. Find it within yourself. Acknowledge that the true knowing can only be seen from within. Nothing on the outside can offer you that aha moment. Nothing. You must be looking in the right direction. And what direction is that? Within. Within. Connect to that which knows, that sees the thoughts, that sees, acknowledges the emotion. And if you can see it and feel it, it's that you are that which is aware of it. If you've ever experienced an aha moment, write it down. If you've never experienced an aha moment, write it in your notebook as an intention. I would like to experience an aha moment. What does it? Just by asking the question, you are drawing a new experience towards you. That's what a question does. That's what a desire does. It draws an experience towards you. So now you've inserted a new component in your area of focus. And document every single aha moment. It'll be difficult to verbalize at some point, but just say, or just write number 1 or number 2, just write it, I had an aha moment, or do a little drawing of some sort that represents the essence that it delivered to you, the feeling that it delivered to you, the moreness of knowing that it delivered to you. Take note of your aha moments. It is you transforming. It is you, maybe transforming is not the right word. It is you seeing more, cracking that just a little bit more, until floodgates just wide open and you get to see the bigger picture. Things start to make sense from where before it made no sense, because the mind only knows what it knows. Aha moments. Become intrigued about them. Question your thoughts that never really sat right with you. Harmonize yourself within yourself without having to expect the outside circumstances to harmonize it for you, because nothing out there, if something contradicts your belief system, you will refuse it. You will argue for your own limitations. And even if they bring you proof that your belief, your core belief is wrong, you still will not accept it till you're holding true to it. Only the moment you begin to question and doubt your belief will an aha moment be available to you. No proof can break your belief unless you question it first. Hi there. Can you talk about when was your aha moment when you felt was changing? Yes, I think my first aha moment when I really truly trusted what I felt that I just perceived was true was that I think it was about 7 years ago when I noticed duality. Like there was a wrong for every right, and there was a black, and there was a white, and there was a tall, and there was a short. Like I saw there were extremes. There was, extreme poverty on this planet, and extreme wealth on this planet. There was extreme righteousness and extreme wrongness, and yet it was just like it was just so evident. And I remember asking the question. It wasn't really a question, just like, oh, it was really passionate. I'm like, what is the point of this duality? What is it? And then I remember a few hours later, or not even the next morning, I sat down at my computer to write. And all of a sudden, I just started writing about duality and the perfection of what it is here for. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And at the time, I was communicating in a group of Anita Murjani. I think the name of the group was Thriving Instead of Surviving, or Stop Surviving and Thrive, or something to that extent. And I remember sharing it in that group. I'm not sure what I did with it, but it was like 7 years ago. And that was my first time that I had an aha moment. But I remember the intensity of the question, like, what is the point of this duality? I'm trying to avoid one to get to the other. No, there was no avoidance. I'll have a look if I actually find it. But the interesting thing about my passion of writing, that everything that came up, I would document. I literally documented I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of just documenting, even those smallest aha moments. But I remember back in the day, it was really an addiction for me of like, asking questions. I write them down. I just write down the question. I wouldn't even look for the answer. Just like, oh, I've got a juicy question here, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then I would just trust. And the thing is that you don't hear the answer in the form of words. It's just like this boom, download. It just feels like this knowing, like something's just been delivered. And then I had to use my mind to decode it into language, so then I could explain it or communicate it or write it down. It was beautiful. It was like describing the essence of what I had just come to know. And it also feels like I've always known it, but never ever asked the question. That's how it felt. Like we already know everything, but until you don't shine the light on it, you don't get to see it. And the shining of the light is asking the question. Ask the question. Ask any question. Like, what would you really like to know? Like, I also ask those questions as like, why do I keep thinking the same thoughts over and over again? How tiresome. Why do I keep doing that? I've asked that question. What is the nature of reality? I asked that question with a lot of passion. I just started asking questions. I started questioning everything I was taught. Everything. And when you're really eager to hear the answer, aha moments, aha moments. So that notebook of yours, keep it updated. Document what you become aware of, what thoughts you habitually think and how often you think them, how you feel about them, what questions you'd like to ask about them. Just don't declare war. Don't hurt yourself unnecessarily. Just take one day at a time and just noticing, seeing, observing, noticing, recognizing, observing. Just be the noticer, the seer. Just notice, recognize what you already habitually do, what the mind does, the feelings. And that is bringing more and more and more and more and more light, awareness within your experience, your reality. This was fun. I enjoyed today. I will see you again tomorrow, same time.